Let's fire it up. I am not only tired today, but I have an early morning in the morning, so I'm not going to go probably even to midnight. I'm just, oh, already getting jumped on. What's up, dude? I was just complaining how tired I am, and that I probably wouldn't be up much too late. So, as much fun as I had yesterday with the moblins, yeah, short stream. Fatigue. Hey, are you calling me fatigued? You saying I'm tired? I think, having had some time to sleep on it, very little time to sleep on it, but some, what if we revisit the start of yesterday's? And I think what I did well yesterday was demean and denigrate the artwork for this character, this potentially very cool character, very thoroughly, and now I would like to see if I can put up or shut up, kind of thing. And let's see if I come up here with that, and then find the thing from yesterday. Yeah, funny. So hard to, I don't do a good job of saving the things that I've been drawing. I do a decent job, but not as good as I should. Never fucking mind. Yeah. Well, anyway, I drew some studies of this Aquamentus. What a cool name. And pointed out all the ways in which the design sucked, because it does, if we look at it. Just to recap, we have essentially rigid tubes attached to rigid tubes. It doesn't look like there's any sort of articulation to any of the joints. I'm not sure if I could see. Maybe that's like an elbow, maybe that's an ankle. It's just cankles from the neck down. Even the tail has a cankle. So anyway, it's just a sorry, sad design. And then this sprite doesn't quite inform us of much else, but it's I think, a more interesting design. Because at least it's got some thick going to thin, and going to thick, and then to thin. This is just thick, 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 thick. It's just not interesting. So, what can we do? Well, both of these images are profile views. Basically, I'm going to do everything I can do to do the opposite. It's just its own interesting lesson. If a drawing is terrible, just do the literal opposite of everything it does, and you'll probably have a good drawing. So, let's see here. If this is a profile, let's do something that's more dead on. Pretty challenging. Let's try it. These are both very flat. Let's do something dynamic. So that means let's go Dutch. There's our horizon liney situation. And basically, let's get some sort of massive beast here. And I had this interesting notion of what if Link was diving into a pool of water? Gets us an interesting pose that we haven't Like I'm not a dive master or anything like that, but dive novice, dive journeyman. Just diving into some choppy waters. And then here, like a fucking dinosaur, is the flaming mouth of Aquamentus. And he can still be a chunky fucker. To me, he strikes me as a sort of a stegosaurus with wings. Fire-breathing stegosaurus with wings, something like that. Have the tail sort of fill out this space. His other leg retreating here. His other leg coming forth here. Or no, forth here. And then this one can be far back. Something like that. You go shower. Cleanse. Heal thyself. He's gonna go bait. I don't know if you heard that. But in this case, we get to have far more interesting things happening and preserve a lot more of this stuff. The only question is, like, how Godzilla-y do I want this mouth? Let's flop it. Cool little slit-pupiled lizard eyes. See, here, this guy's got some big old fangs, and this guy's got tiny little chompers. No reason to go small. Having all those cool new Godzilla films come out. Matter. Should we try? Tubbs, what's up, man? Today I'm... Oh. Me too. Put the drawing on. The, there's something to be said. Yesterday I was talking about how I was like, oh, I want to be doing the Zelda thing. A greater goal beyond what the Zelda thing is, which is, in the near to short term, it's actually a pretty big project, probably preoccupied me for a while, but what I'm actually trying to do is sort of establish a sort of an approach and audience for getting into teaching in whatever form it actually will occur in the future. It's I figure when I do need to make that transition, because eventually I'll age out of the advertising stuff I'm doing, and then I'd like to have something more or less ready and set for me to just roll over into, instead of having to be like, oh yeah, I'm a good teacher, trust me. It's like, what if I had an audience, people tuning in or something like that? That feels like it would have this fucking cone, it's like a birthday hat on top of this thing, you know what I mean? This character, it's too much. To do something more, like make it like different, like this. It feels like it's actually fucking scary, right? And then I'll adjust these things. We'll get this fun triangle of teeth and horns. Kind of closer. Yeah. It was like peak character design for 1981 or something like that. The idea of having this triangle-ish don't know if I love these ears. Maybe the nostrils can be bigger. And then make sure we separate space between the tip of the snout and the horn area. We can use these white paint overs as overlaps to make that clear. Or were you drawing? Or are you drawing? Endure study, man. You are in the let's see here. Rubens was not Renaissance necessarily, but Dürer was definitely Northern Renaissance. That's interesting. Gothic thing, yeah, very cool. Did you ever look at like Hieronymus Bosch and stuff like that? Looking at Dürer and Hieronymus and other Flemish artists, they're compared to like the strictly There's a human quality that isn't just sort of like lofty, like paying homage to classical Greek and Roman sculpture kind of stuff. Like they really sort of make art their own, which is pretty cool. It doesn't strike our modern eyes as super sophisticated, at least at first, but it's definitely it's just as potent, just as lasting in appeal. Bosch is interesting. Bosch is very influential on the sly. The line work makes your brain well. Yeah, that would be a fun one to study. I haven't really studied much Dürer. I'm very familiar with his work, but I haven't done many drawings. They looked, maybe this is a fault on my part. They looked like they were a little too easy to copy, despite the line, like the cross-hatching and stuff like that. I've always felt like, I'm like, okay, well that, even if I did a good drawing of that, it won't look as good as like a Michelangelo. Let me try and copy a Michelangelo instead or something like that. That was that's the sort of gist of what I was trying to get at. But then you get older and you look at that stuff and you're like, Dürer definitely had something going on that was unique to his own. Every bit is valid. Alright, let's check this. Clicking the link. Clicking it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, his prints were insane. I'll share something with you that I'm not entirely sure of, but I believe that AI art has a difficulty with cross-hatching of this type of nature. This stuff, at least in its current form, is for AI like generators or whatever in its current form. I think it has issues with understanding or generating this this kind of line art, the very heavily hatched or striated or whatever kinds of things. I know I've seen examples where it tries and it, sort of, depending on your opinion, does a good job or whatever, but in my opinion does not do a good job. And I wonder if that's something that is when I think about things that I need to watch out for, like computers replacing me at my job and stuff like that, I look to see like, hey, what can't do, and maybe that's something they'll figure out, like they figure out how to draw hands and shit. So never say never, but just a thing I've been toying around with the notion. That horse is particularly cool. This is cool because the guy is leaning back and the girl is leaning forward. Sort of like, oh, you know what's cool? It's got a unicorn. Oh, the abduction on a unicorn. Alright, so this is timely because this beast has a horn just like my Aquamentus. think of ways of bringing the dynamism I was looking for into this composition. I think I like that better. Yeah. The wing that was there. I mean, the thing shouldn't have a wing at all, but since it does, a bunch of dino rivets. Here. I wonder if it's too close. Just back it off a bit. When you were drawing these out, do you have a contiguous concept in your head throughout the drawing, or do you create composition ideas as you go? I focus on the big things first. So no, I don't have a contiguous thing. I had two concepts. I wanted the opposite of this drawing, and I wanted to see if I could get a drawing of Link diving towards camera into water. That was what I started with. What will come, my approach actually generally is, if you simply focus on the hierarchies, everything just takes care of themselves. So I even like this sort of split wing thing that I've chanced upon. It works in the composition, so the happy little accident or the ambiguous fuck up is gonna ride for a little bit, you know. And then we have to sort of mirror something like that over here, but I don't want this area to be as dark and heavy as this end, so I'm just gonna draw it lightly. Everything is dictated by the hierarchy of like the thing that it should serve. So there's no, first thing is about the Aquamentus being insane. The second thing is about Link diving and getting away from it. Everything else needs to get in line and push behind those two concepts. And it's really the same concept, it's just sort of like two different sections of the drawing. It all has to unify and push, and if it's not, you know, helping steer or helping push, it's out. It's not even, if it has to be in there somehow, you just draw as little attention to it as possible. So whatever it is that I'll come up with on the fly, it'll be something that helps the things that I'm, yeah, okay. So blah, 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 but there's definitely no, I mean, is it smart to have a plan when you don't even know what the fuck it is that you're gonna be doing? I do have a plan. It's the process. The process is to sort out the knowns. What are the knowns? I wanted to draw this character. I wanted to do a good version of it, which meant doing the opposite of what I saw. Doing the opposite of this sort of means I'm going dynamic and pulling out all my tricks to get this thing as intensely coming towards us with arms clearly moving by the way that they're drawn. All the overlaps, because there's no overlaps here in the original drawing. Something like this. So it's almost really a process of elimination. Needs to be some like flinging drool. Okay, here. Can you see that? It's a little bit better. And then, while this is, so one thing that I drew is, or one thing I do, that is different from a lot of artists is that I don't see the need to make every stroke or line that I do appear as though it's the finished line, even if it will be the finished line, at least not at the outset. I'm really just searching for information, but there's no reason that, let's say I wanted to have a certain sensitivity to my brush strokes, and that necessitated that I work very lightly. Or let's say like my hand was so tired from a hard day at work, and I, even though I picked black, it's like, oh, my hand is so weak, I can only go like this. Well, those can still be finished brush strokes. We can just come back later and isolate them and darken them up with tools to get that inky line and the inky approach that we were looking to have in the finish is actually achievable with just, the light sketchiness. It's not something that is either or. I don't necessarily have to go over this and ink it. If I do it right, that can be better than an ink. Maybe not better, but as far as like getting a client to sign off on finished artwork, you can do that. And so, what was I ranting about? Anyway, yeah, I'll go off on my tangents, but but one thing is that it may look like I'm sort of wandering and stuff like that. And in many ways I am, but I know how to rescue that and get it back to something that is a little more impressive than a unimportant sketch. So one thing I don't love is that just this, I'm not getting a good sense of weight here. See, again, this is like everything just sort of like explains itself. This is bugging me. Why is it bugging me? Well, this super heavy thing just sort of looks like it weighs nothing as it's taking these steps. Instead of that, let's make it look like it's like kicking up a bunch of, let's make the energy clear. Let's make the, there's bits of rock getting knocked over as it's charging, perhaps. Is pissed off, it's charging. Debris getting cast everywhere. I'm going too finished on the thing right now. It's not necessary, but my mind got sidetracked by it. But like basically the scenario is, what if they're in a grotto? Which is like a cave. speed lines. All this fun information. And over here we've got the tail. And then instead of the tail, subs if you're watching, like if the tail went like this, and you make the lines go like that, pointing away. Same tail, you make the lines go like this, pointing towards camera, and it's just ever so slightly more interesting. And since it's more interesting, that's what I'm gonna do. Here we have all these rigid, like these things look like they go in a perfect line. You know, and in a perfect world, maybe that's what happens, but I'm doing the opposite, like I said, so these things need to look irregular. There's a name for those things. It's not spikes, but it's something. It's like plates or spinal plates. On a stegosaurus at least, something like that. But but to me it's more interesting if it looks like the tail tip is coming towards us, even as the rest of the body is projecting back into space. Fairly cool so far. Not enough. There needs to be like the hand is striking in the moment of the strike. I think we can, if we, just like we don't want the spike plates to be too aligned. We don't want the fingers to be nicely laid out in a row. When would that happen in a fight or a chase? It wouldn't. So make that happen. And you know, I really should have knocked out. There we go. Fuck up his teeth a bit, you know? Maybe not all of them. Needs an overlap here. Maybe a forked tongue. It's a little cheesy, but it's been a while. Maybe a little trope. Slobber. Probably overdid it there, but it's just getting fucked up. Knocking over not just rocks, but structures. Buildings even. Haven't even got the link yet. Let's dip our toes in. I I think I have a pretty solid idea of what I want him to look like, at least in this pose. It's just a frontal dive. He's coming right at us. I think I want him to have flippers like he does in the game. He equips them, but they're pretty much automatic, so maybe it's not a big deal. Let's try it. Now, while I didn't mind doing it for the Aquamentus, Link is sort of a nuanced kind of persona that I don't want to treat the way I depict him too lightly. And now we're going to switch it up so his brush settings are going to look different. They're going to get darker than they did over here with Aquamentus. Now I want his head to point down, like he knows what he's doing, going into a dive. Hands are going to meet here. Forearms here. So look, biceps here, and then you draw the outside of the shoulder. It's like the rhythms I was talking about. You see that? Hey, bro. Gotta get the ears in there. I've been leaving off the ears on a few of the drawings of Link. I keep remembering. That grit. Gotta have, after drawing all that, gotta have the hair poking out from under the cap. Gotta have these sideburns, anime sideburns. A little bit of mullet coming out the back. All that is good. Now the modern Link design seems to have like a cool stuff like a leather tunic and these sleeves. He'll have tattoos in the next one. I don't know, maybe. Island ears are barely registered. Yeah, I don't know if we'll play it, but debate. John, what do you think? Should he ponytail too? Soon man bun, or like the Gan bun, like Ganon's man bun. Good Dutch angle, yeah. Wait till you see my Dutch oven. Should Link, since he's diving into water, should he be wearing flippers, or should we not worry about those types of details? Dutch oven for your wife, yeah. I know. As the victim of the many a Dutch oven, I fear the retribution. We're in a ceasefire at the moment. This leg is going too far down. I can see that. But I want one of them to be like higher than his body. Here, let me flop this. Oop. That's upside down. Looks like a schlong. Yeah, it looks decent. I want... This could get a little bit more like that. Feels a little better. But yeah, overall, flop looks good. And I don't have to make a decision about flippers just yet. What I'm not going to do is ignore the fact that, if anybody's paying attention, his foot here is touching the horn here. And of course they're not. They're separated by probably 30 feet in space, but in the drawing they're touching. And that isn't something... Some people don't care about that stuff, but I care. I don't mind that it points to him, but I don't want it intersecting so delicately. It can overlap or whatever, but I don't want anything to look like it's accidental unless I want it to look like it's accidental. But that isn't something that I wanted to look accidental. And since it looked like it was accidental, and I didn't want it to look like it's accidental, I had to change it. It disrupts the depth, yes. It's a tangent, is what they call it. At least in animation composition, that's something that's depth. You can either have them separate or overlapping. So here, in this section, previously, this was also a tangent, right here. So, whereas I erased and made space for that one, I will erase and make an overlap with this one. It's equal opportunity. Overlaps help us, and separation helps us too, but where things are tangents, where we don't intend them, that isn't so good. And I'm not even sure like which leg of Link is going in which direction at this point. Doesn't necessarily matter. I'm trying to find the redeeming composition for Aquamentus to be the badass. The other thing is that these this boss has, at least in the game, it shoots fire from its horn, if I remember. Now, that doesn't make sense in real life, so we could make it a fire-breathing dragon, which I think is fine, and, you know, might have some fire around. Although I've done a few of those on these streams where Link is escaping fire or dealing with fire. but it's just a thought. All this, and I can barely dive at all. Maybe a little too buff there. Shit. But nothing wrong with a little help. Tangentially, yeah, no, it's touching on the, or it's like if I'm going off on a tangent, it's like something diverted my attention, you know, but it wasn't something that should have happened. Like a tangent isn't a good thing in, you know, if we're talking about discourse or artwork, compositions and stuff like that. It's but tangent, the meaning of the name means touch. It's just a touch, but it's like where it's like ideally you're not doing this, you're doing either this or this, like overlapping kind of a thing. But the touching is weird. It's probably something peepashy. What's peepashy? Ooh, this is the track I like. Hold on, I gotta look this up. What's this one? Korok Forest. The anybody listening? Okay, anybody listening? The Zelda and Chill Trilogy playlist on YouTube is what we're listening to. It's been this staple for the stream for probably a few weeks, and it's came recommended by my bro, and it's been a blessing to have some alternative tunes for the stream besides the video game music and the earlier titles. Now, I'm going to try and wrap this up in the next 10 minutes, so let's see how far we can get. But we've got a bad guy pretty much established. Link, we pretty much know what Link's doing. We can draw. Just find more ways of not rendering, but indicating the water. Some sort of rocky shoreline. Then what did Link even jump off of, right? Maybe it was this. And I like, across the board, concepts that look like do we want Link to have his sword and shield on the back, or would that just be messy? I mean, he should. He should. Let's get that in there. Like he's not unarmed. No, it's not a tangent. Like that. That's good. It's subservient to the greater compositions, but like so by that I mean like whatever Link has is going to be based on what he's doing. Now that we know what he's doing, what he has is going to fit into that space, like as a sub factor or something like that. So, with very rare exception, the items that Link would carry wouldn't affect what he's doing or how he would do it. In an instance where he was diving into a pool, for instance, sword and shield, they're going to be pretty much on his back. And the pose is going to be the same. We just have to see if there's a good way to get those details in there. You and your tangents. Let's flop. Definitely looking cool. Makes it more defined. I don't know if I love just having more darkness everywhere, though. I know it seems that way sometimes that I do, but I don't necessarily do. That just means... Oh. Tail, yeah, the if anything should be more diffused. I'm wondering what should go in this space, and it actually could be a opportunity to get, because I earlier was talking about this being in a grotto, and a grotto is just a cave, but the grotto is a mysterious cave, a cave of interest, but but with the right tonal structure, we could give a sense that beyond the cave was a peep at the shoreline of Lake Hyla, or whatever. So that can look like the daytime exterior. So I've been doing a lot of stuff where it looks like, hey, it's night or dark, or we're in a dungeon and there's no this one's cool too. I like this track. this. Oh, the original one was so scary. The original Resident Evil on PlayStation, I remember sleeping over at Chris Smith's house. He had rented it for the occasion. And we'd never experienced a game or movie like that where you just felt so helpless. I know this probably isn't an issue so much in the modern versions, but you were really dealing with a fucked up situation in the original game where, like, you had no bullets. Like, there was, like, you had to fucking scrounge and search everywhere for bullets in the first game, and like a zombie would attack you and you'd get so fucking panicked because you would never, like, it was always like, okay, like, there's the guy, it's coming right at me or whatever, in like any other video game. And this is like a zombie would be like this towards you, and it was like shit your fucking pants panic. Like, you wouldn't believe like how fucking scared we got over this thing that was barely moving at us. And then like once you like conquer that fear, you're like, oh, there's it's not that scary, you know, you just shoot them, right? Well, then like 15 minutes later, the zombies are actually like charging at you and stuff like that, and then it's like all over at that point. I couldn't keep going. It was just nuts. It was like nothing I had experienced in a video game up until that point. Video games have a profound effect on my psyche. I don't have a filter. Like, to me, it's real, you know? Okay, now this is just like a mess of dark and shit, which isn't good, but let's see if we can add a shield real quick. Leon has no bullets. Most of my run, I barely kept myself alive. They kept that in the remake. Well, bless them. Jesus Christ. You'd have like little herbs and you'd... Oh, big sewer alligator, huh? There were so many crazy bad guys in that game. They would like drop from the ceiling and shit. It's like, never saw that before in my life kind of thing. Always gotta get the speed lines. Okay. Let's get speed lines. Ooh, speed holes. Yeah, speed holes. What if... what gun to my head, what springs to mind is the Homer becomes the obese disability guy. Homer Goes to Clown College, classic. Man, so many good ones of that era. Lisa becomes a vegetarian. Bart gets an elephant. I even loved like Homer meets his long lost brother and stuff like that. You know, like ridiculous tropes, but okay. That's that. And so, okay, pop quiz. If the sword is strapped to his back, do we make it go like this? Or do we make it go like this? Honk if you're horny in peace, yeah. Alright, buzzer's up. The, well, what? Oh, recommend at this point is sword goes here so that it points towards the subject matter. As long as it's not done in a manner that's too contrived, I think it'll look good. All right, what else? Okay, let's try the, there's a little bit of separation of values. We'll add some atmospheric effects. Depends on the hand. It would be over his left if it was left. Let's see. Well, depends on the flop. That's actually how I started drawing it. So, wait, no, it isn't. But it doesn't matter. I'm right no matter what. Let's make it look like over here in the distance. Definitely need to have rocks, things that are exploding. Wild to me. Mild genius, yes. Mildness, yeah. A lot of this is built up repression from my day job where I'm drawing people literally sitting in a hotel room bored. And having this opportunity to cut loose, so to speak, is fun. I don't generally get a chance to give a shit about the things that I depict. So, and I might never. So this is just due to my own time constraints, the seriousness of my life. There's no, there isn't really a lot of opportunities for downtime where I might explore my own projects. This is an opportunity, and I appreciate you saying this stuff. It's a cathartic outlet. Yes, the truth is that I didn't necessarily think I'd be decent even at doing this stuff in a spontaneous kind of format. It's hard enough doing it as a job, but actually there's something about the situation, the live audience kind of a thing, or just sort of like, hey, like, you know, here's an opportunity, just seize it kind of a thing. Like, those are skills I want to hone, you know? So anyway, thanks for the vote of encouragement. What I want to do is do something to get this space separated from the foreground where Link is. Let's do it one more time. do it one more time. Very subtle value changes can make a big difference. You can apply something similar to the foreground, but in reverse, where we're darkening. A little bit more. Pretty decent. All right, one last thing. Bit of a crutch or a hack, but let's think about if we do something like that, and then some of that light bleeds around the edge here and even through the underside, skips across the water. Squint. Pretty good. I think we could get away with just, let's try. Touch more of that. No. Yeah, no. I think the solution over there is to do something that feels like, let's see, if that's the tone of that, well, that's pretty good. So let's go halfway up. Thank you. This one was a I had a bone to pick with the Aquamentus. This was a beast I had to vanquish. I want it to look like there's some sort of structure or society of something occurring over here. Even if it's just like a mountain, just something. That might be good enough, just like that. But just wanted something out there. All right, I'm gonna call it there. Not good. There we go. I gotta remember to do this, the full frame booyah. and this isn't done. This is the sketch. We come back to this. What I'm doing is, I'm probably 3/4 of the way there. I want to create 24 sketches like this that I can fill a page with, a storyboard page, as I make them. And what it will be, because this isn't even really a storyboard, it's key art, it's like concept art. But from there, I can refine and then pick out ideas that I will extrapolate. Like maybe I'll turn this into a scene where he's running and he's jumping and he's diving and escaping, and then he's underwater, and then he sees like Azora, to be continued. A fun storyboard like that would have a lot of appeal. And in fact, I might just do that. But it all starts with like this sort of situational moment. Like this is what they call like the desktop image. When you do a trailer for a video game, you want to have these moments that are like iconic, so that like people freeze the video and take a screenshot and make it their desktop wallpaper. That's like our goal, right? So when you can do stuff like that, like something like this might be a moment like that. I'd do it if I fucking did all this and painted it nice, even added color, like badass, So I'm about at least half, probably 3/4 of the way to where I want to be, where I've got enough images like this. I want images that have all the bosses, at least the classic bosses, at least all the classic enemies. I want to have items, as many as I can cram in, and just, there's going to be pivotal moments, like what is it like coming up? Cheap prints of these, yeah. I mean, like, I fucking should. Why the fuck shouldn't I like make these look awesome and then just take them to like a comic book convention and sell prints? Everybody fucking else does, I'm always worried about like, oh, I don't have like the licensing or something like that. Nobody ever does anything like that. Anyway, and whatever. Like, fine, you sue me because I'm awesome, whatever. Give me a job. They should eat it up. Or, if it's a thing where it's controversial, that helps me too, to be honest. Whatever gets the word out, this guy's dangerous, he's too good, kind of thing. But honestly, like, I like doing this stuff, and, if I can, I don't mind making it a side hustle or whatever. John, I was telling Subs earlier, because I think you were in the shower, but I want to turn, ultimately, this Twitch thing is about cultivating an audience that I can eventually create, like, a sort of, like, teaching experience that, will help me later on in life when I'm sort of done with advertising. So that is the ultimate goal. So anyway, if I'm on my way, I'm on my way. But this looks badass, so I'm definitely going to finish this one up as well as all the others. I'll collect them soon. I'll count them, see how many we have left to go. I just want to get to 24. That's how I could fill a page, basically. And then we'll have a few special streams to render them out. That'll be its own thing, because I have my own techniques that are very efficient for getting very good drawings very quickly. Whereas like this is an exploratory thing. I can take this and finish it in probably a couple of hours, at least as far as like storyboard quality kind of a thing. And who knows if it'll even look better, but it will look like a good storyboard sample, which is really what I'm trying to do. So, you like this plan? It's good. I'm not a self-promoter by nature or anything like that, but on this, I will be a little bit shameless. I am a member of the Art Directors Guild, They have a Facebook page where desperate members post samples all the time saying, hey, I'd like to be hired on something, kind of a thing. Not my cup of tea generally. When I have my samples ready, I'm gonna fucking blast that shit and be like, yo, someone send this to Nintendo. Help me out here, kind of a thing. Whose back do I have to scratch? Anyway, that's the plan. Okay, guys, so one more in your face. Oh, this is so fun. Look how cool that is. All of it is, you know, I'm just a messenger. All right, thanks. I'm gonna let you guys go. Good night. See you next time. I may be too tired to stream tomorrow. I will try. All right. Peace out, subs. But check back anyway. All right. Good night.